fucking established, bro. I know what I'm fucking doing over here, right?
Right.
Not like these fucking yahoos over here coming in here, fucking, falling asleep on the stream. Yeah, there was a guy that did that. I don't know who the fuck it was.
No, I
One of these
forget
guys
who's that
posted.
guy's name was. Yeah, I forget
They
about
fell
that. Yeah,
asleep, bro. Come on,
I
you
know.
gotta go. And I'm thinking, you got a starter kit is like 32 hours, bro. We got to really pound it out. None of this bullshit 15-hour stuff. That's for kids. I'm fucking orbiter extraordinaire. Nobody knows more about this shit than me. It's obvious. It's fucking clear, right? And I can write fucking jingles. I can do music, buddy. I toured with the Beatles. People don't
Oh,
know.
you're stealing all my shit. Is that the plot
Shit.
twist? You're gonna
I'm not.
bury me
I'm
in the
not.
Nevada desert,
Listen,
and you're gonna steal my whole shit, and you're gonna conquer the world. Is that the
buddy.
plot twist there?
Beatles. Those songs they wrote were inspired by fucking me because I'm an inspiration for them. Just being around me, they felt compelled to write better stuff. So listen, that's my background. That's where I come from, right? I ain't no Yahoo who's new to the fucking scene who only plays poker. I know what's going on. Okay, so that's all I got to say. Everyone knows. We all agree. I think.
All right, so you're coming to throw your wrenches and monkey wrenches when I got the stage on PPE space, Daniel? Yes or no? Of course you are.
I have a bedtime and I got about an hour. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah, plenty of time. All right, thank you, Daniel.
Yeah, you got to be careful what you wish for on here, Eden, because just because a guy's got 50 something million in earnings, lots of bracelets, WPTs, whatever, doesn't mean he doesn't have that little bite in him, that wants to be the one running the show. You never know with these guys, man. So you got to be careful. I mean, let's just put it this way: Daniel's not paying 1.2 to get Poker Pro Eric to run this shit. He's got a master plan behind. He wants to be the orbiter. He wants to be the one calling the shots. So just think a few steps ahead. Don't get too lost in the emotions. Stay with the meta here.
I think it'll be all right. Will, I know what you're saying. I got your back, and I got Coco's back, and I got Ronnie's back, and I got Len's back, and I got Brian Ard's back, and I got Jordan Vargas, who was a prick to me before, but now he's come around. I got Jordan Vargas's back, and I got Larry Fine's back, and I got Nav's back, and Baby Cakes, of course, and Snoop Dogg and Beerus and Legion, Mr. Drywall, and Matt Berkey, and S. Williams, and the Vegas Pig, and Amanda Negrano, and my new follower, who I follow back, Justin Kelly, and Ice Bunny. I'm probably missing people. But that's as far as I'm going to scroll down. I got everybody's back. So, and if it doesn't work, hey, man, the next guy, then I drop the torch. Then the next explorer will find my dead body, and the torch will be right there, and you guys can pick it up. So that's all I'm going to say. But I think it's going to work. But thank you, Will.
All right, yeah, I'm going to bring in some calls, mix things up a little, see what we got here. So maybe head over to eat Poker Pro Eric Space. My bedtime's coming up soon here on the East Coast. Don't want the wife to get too upset. Jess, what's up?
I don't see Jess. It's Jess's boyfriend, by the way.
I know it's a dude. That's why I was saying Jesse, baby. I wasn't trying to be weird. B, what's up? Hoop Dreams, 444. Addicted to the association.
Sorry
What's up?
if I missed the beginning of what you guys were discussing there, but are you guys not watching this fucking stream with Wesley and Hus calling each other's bitches and pussies and fucking heads up for 3 million? You're not talking about this?
No, we haven't been able to catch the I don't have the volume going on the stream because I've literally been talking for the last 3 or 4 hours on here.
Yeah, sorry, but like I said, I just jumped in, but these guys are calling fuck your father, you're a pussy, you're a bitch, we're playing heads up for rolls. I mean, it just got entertaining right now.
Yeah, we got to get somebody to clip this. If anybody knows, like Rob Coon's video guy or someone, I don't know if you can get the superstar Eden. If Rob Coon's around, I don't know if you have his digits, but if we can get Robert Coon's video guy to clip these clips of Wesley and Huss saying you're a motherfucker, fuck your father, and also nobody tell the guy who complained about the cursing in here because we had a guy call in Clayton Bigsby actually who really didn't appreciate the cursing on stream. So hopefully he's gone to bed by now.
Hey man,
I think that was a troll.
Tell him to deal with it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, B. Yeah, we're gonna try to stick to the stream a little. See what Super Tilt has to say. I'm sure this is not going to be a Super Tilt. What do you got?
Eden, you're gonna name off 40 fucking people that you got their back, and you ain't even gonna list me.
Well, you weren't on the screen, bro.
Next thing.
Time.
Anyway, Snoop Dogg, if you ever bring any pussy ass stipulations like that back into the fucking meta, I'm gonna flip out on you.
Jesus, super tight. I got to screen these calls a little. It's getting a little dicey in here, a little tight. A lot of tensions building, a lot of time spent in the metaverse. Everybody needs air. Everybody needs green grass. Fanboy, what do you got?
Yeah, I have a question for Daniel. If he's available, thank you. Listen, so like when GG wants to compete with other poker rooms, do they shut down on days when they run, or do they run head to head to try to compete? To just let the numbers decide who's winning.
You're talking about online, not live, correct?
I'm talking about like rather than go over to Poker Pro Eric's space, wouldn't it be better for Eden to just go head to head and let the people decide who they want to listen to?
I think there's different theories on that. In the past in poker, we've had organizations that, sort of map out their schedules and try not to overlap. And then you have some that, they don't. They just go for it and they try to compete. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't have the right answer to that one, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, speaking of poker, you been watching any of this Hustler, Daniel?
I've watched none of it. I saw one hand, I think, the JRB hand. Other than that, I have paid no attention. And again, I understand that it's very popular, whatever. I give precisely, like, right on zero fucks. I just do not give a fuck. I just don't care. It's like, who gets it? Nobody even wins any trophies, right? Nobody gets a bracelet. It's just money. They all have money. Who gives a fuck? I don't get it.
So are you saying you're grinding Triton, but not this?
Oh, I would. Yeah, I watch the Tritons. I watch those streams. Those are awesome. Those are epic. It's obviously what I do. I play tournaments, but it really is like the way that I think about poker. Like, I mean, when I was young, I needed to make money and I did, but I looked at cash as a job so that I could play tournament. And the idea of watching people play cash, the amounts of money don't impress me. It's not like, oh wow, look at that 800K pot. Because again, you think about it, right? You could put a 5-10 game together where people have a higher percentage of their net worth in a $2,200 pot than these guys do. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I mean, it's just like a bunch of people who have a lot of money fucking around playing a little poker, and I it just doesn't do it for me. But like I said, I know I'm in the minority on that, and I appreciate that. But that's my personal taste. It does nothing for me.
No, I mean, I think there's a lot of people. I mean, obviously, like the views kind of dictate what happens, but I think there's a lot of people that would agree. I would just be curious, like, do you feel like there's any fix or anything that could be done to make tournaments kind of catch up to more of where cash has been in terms of popularity?
I'll tell you what I think's happening now. I think now what you see is like the stars of poker today. They don't historically they always came from tournaments. There was no way to make a name for yourself as a cash game player. That's been reversed. Ever since sort of Garrett on those streams and some others, like those are the names people know because they're seeing them regularly. What we had in the old days of Poker After Dark and the big game, which my lovely wife Amanda was host of, was you saw the same faces every night on your TV on NBC and Fox and stuff like that, right? So now that it's sort of switched over to the cash game realm, if you will, like these guys have opportunities to be stars. The only way I think you really can do that again with tournament players is, and I had 3 meetings today. I've been getting everything out before the World Series starts. And one of those meetings is just kind of going back to what made poker successful originally. And for me, it was the packages. That was the key. Like I know they don't do well with audiences according to what they think, but they don't really know what they need. They don't know what they want. Having those bits where you get to see people behind the scenes, follow them to their hometown, get to know a little bit about them and stuff. It's so key because even on the live streams, you don't really get a lot of that. You just see the banter, you see people talk, but like you don't know much about these people. And for people to be engaged and want to root for or against, the more information you give them about who they are, I don't think there's a case of today there's no characters. That's baloney. You think Alan Cunningham and Chris Ferguson were like, and Howard Lederer were like some sort of like charismatic, figures? No, but they were packaged, right? And they were packaged in such a way where for some people, they really related to them and it worked. The formula worked. We got away from it completely. And, I personally think that was a mistake, but what do I know?
Well, are you implying that some of these meetings you may be trying to push for bringing the packages back in play?
I had meetings about a bunch of different things, on all sides of the poker sphere, whether it's streams or TV shows, different things like that. Like this it's my work time now. But no, yeah, I mean, I think like when people ask, what can make, because here's the thing, right? You look at these tournament streams, they're all the same. They're just the same. It's just poker. Same thing for me again with the cash game streams. There's nothing super special about them. Although I will say, like I said, I did shoot a show that will air sometime this. I thought it would maybe be the spring, but I guess it hasn't aired yet. And it is by far the coolest poker show I've ever been involved with in my life. It's fucking epic. It's going to be great. It's going to be something like they've never done before. And that's it, right? Think outside the box. At the same time, look at like what is the stuff that did work to make poker players stars, and does that even matter, right? Because what happened with the WPT, I remember years ago, Steve Lipscomb, he sort of was like, ESPN and 441, they were like, let's focus on the characters. Let's focus on the people who play the game and tell stories about them and create an episode. WPT went a totally different route and said the game itself sells, right? So that's what they did. They focused on the game more. So we had kind of the best of both worlds in that regard. For my taste, I think the packages are key. And the packages, they cost a little bit of money. And I think when you saw Black Friday hit, there just wasn't a lot of incentive to spend on a crew, a sound guy, a camera guy, an interviewer, whatever, and flights, and go to somebody's hometown. It's especially if you're doing it for 10 different people, that adds up, because you're gonna have different crews and stuff like that. So when you start to cut costs, I think one of the things that was cut is the budgets for those bits, and instead they just do the standard sideline interview. Your bits are great. I love the tough conversation thing. That's brilliant. Like you really get to see people's personality. I think what you did for David Peters in a way is like, now people saw him as like, people usually don't hear from David, but you got him to like actually be fucking hilarious, right? That's this kind of stuff that I think really works to get people to like have rooting interest. Because if we don't have quote unquote fans that give a shit about who's playing, I don't think it sells.
Yeah, well, I was definitely thinking that when I was doing those. I was in there, right, and I'm interviewing, and I interviewed you, and I interviewed David and some other people, and then they have the tournament going in the other room, and like they're just showing this like microcosm of the whole thing, which is just the 9 people that make the final table, and like nothing else. And it's impossible to really root for anyone because if they're not sort of giving you anything, let alone a lot in that final table setting, you just have nothing to go on. It's just like the poker and what their physical appearance is. And a lot of them, there's not really anything spoken. So I totally agree. I think there needs to be a rooting interest for there to be like a really good product with poker. Like you have to want somebody to win or want somebody to lose, or you're just not going to care that much, And I think that for whatever reason that's happening more in cash games. But yeah, I think you're spot on. I think we got to bring the packages back. And hopefully you can have some leeway. You're not just spending all your time trying to leverage Poker Pro Eric in this kind of big, massive Twitter space 7-figure deal you got going on.
What I told you was 750. I mean, I was kidding about the 1.2.
Well, you said that after Eden said room and board as a counter offer.
So maybe Eden screwed him in a way because it went down.
Well, what he did is he screwed me, okay? Because some of us have families here. We're defending ourselves against Josh Arier, catching strays, catching hatchets to the face. So, it's a different game for everyone. Some of us are eating cans of soup in our hotels. Some of us have to feed our families. But, we'll be okay.
Speaking of eating rocks, that's me. So I'm going to interject, gentlemen, if you don't mind. And speaking of hatchets and fearing for our families' lives, I'm getting some up-to-date, like, not a bit. I'm getting more and more information about a certain poker pro whose name starts with E and ends with a K, who his reputation is just, I'm not even joking, man. I can't confirm it, but it seems legit. And the guy's going and starting the spaces. So Daniel, let's not go over there. Let's just not even entertain this person. I think his reputation will eventually ruin himself, lead him to ruin himself. And I don't know how we're going to hang out as long as you go, but we will launch the alternative space if you choose to, or when you get, when you want to call it. So Daniel's welcome to join us there. We're not going to go over.
We're not going to go over to the Eric space.
No, we're not going to do that. And I want to thank the person that advised me against that because I almost took the bait, but now I have to agree. Even though I would roast him to a crisp. But it's just transparent. So anyway, I'm talking a lot, but yeah, the guy, it's coming more and more out. I'm not even making this up. The guy's a scumbag, it looks like. So it's too bad. If he came clean and just helped the community, but no, it's not going to happen. So sorry about that, Daniel. Sorry about that, Will, but we're not going to go over there. Sorry about that.
That's fine. Anyway, Daniel, so we had Berkey on earlier. He said he was getting 25 to 1 against to win a bracelet, and he's only going to play like 20 something events, and they're all going to be no limit. I thought that was an amazing bet against personally. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, he asked me what I thought the right price was, and I think the way that I explained it was it heavily depends on how much he's wagering and how much he can win, right? So, for example, if he bet $500, he doesn't have a lot of incentive to put in a lot of volume. If he bet, say, for example, $1 million, and he can win a lot of money, now you expect him to play everything, right? So that would be like kind of how I would. So basically, what I'm saying is the smaller the bet, the better the odds should be. The bigger the bet, the worse the odds should be. 25 to 1 based on that kind of a schedule for him, like he said, he's never won a live tournament. It's not something that he's ever really spent a lot of time and energy on. So I don't know, 25 to 1, considering the fields that he's probably going to be playing in, or big field, no limits, or big-ish. I don't know. It's probably, it seems fine. I look at it this way, though. Like, if he played that schedule, and I know this isn't the right way to look at it necessarily, but like for the next 25 years, he wouldn't bink one. Like, feels like you would, but
Well,
I
it's
don't know.
Berkey. It's Berkey now. I mean, he's had plenty of time to bink one before.
True, fair enough, but yeah, I don't know. You see what I'm saying though. It just sounds crazy to think like, yeah, in the next 25 years, if he played the schedule, he would have zero. It feels like I'd rather, if I had to bet. I don't like laying 25 to 1. I think it's not fun. It's never fun. So if I had
Yeah.
to bet either side, I would take the 25 to 1 for fun. It's a better
Well,
sweat.
what you're saying is like if you bet a small amount of money, like if he puts up 1K, the odds might be 50 to 1 or something just because he's not going to care.
Yeah,
Like,
you'll play cash. Like, he's not going to grind, right? So yeah, if he bets 1,000, that's just free money. He's going to go play. He's not going to care. He's like, oh, whatever. I haven't won it. It's fine. But if he put up like, say, 100K of his own money, like for this bet that maybe can win like 2.5 million, you better bet he's going to play every online tournament. I mean, that would be smart anyway. So now you look at it and you go, okay, based on number of events, the small bet deserves bigger odds. It's just based on sheer numbers.
so speaking of events, when are you're starting up pretty soon, right? When does your World Series start technically?
Well, it really starts tomorrow night with the draft, which we'll do. It'll be on Poker Go YouTube channel. You guys can watch it for free. That's kind of really like we always do it the day before the first event is when we run it, and the first event is going to be Tuesday 2 p.m. It is a $25,000 buy-in, 6 max tournament. I believe there's one re-entry. I will be there on time, bright and early. I already got my room set up. I got, a cot. I got the coffee maker. I got mustard. I got ketchup. I got all the condiments and popcorn and chips and everything I'm going to need for the whole summer.
So you're gonna vlog all this, right?
Yeah, every day. I've been doing it since 2017. The way we work it is, I shoot the footage myself on my phone, and I have a guy who starts to edit, puts in the music, and then he sends it to Korea, and then we have a team in Korea that it's daytime there, so they work on it, and then by the morning, 9 or 10 a.m. local time, ba-bam, it's already up in your on the feed. They post it. I don't have to do anything. I'm obviously asleep at that hour, and every day, I think it's a fun way. You talk about sort of growing the game and making it popular. I thought about like people say, like, why do you sell pieces? Right? Because I don't need to sell pieces. I thought when I do the vlog, how much more fun is it when people could like not know what happened? They have like $500 on it and they're watching it. They live vicariously through it. They get to have a real sweat for 7 weeks every single day. I think that's like, it makes it a little more interesting for those people. And that was the main, reason why I decided to do that.
So you're talking about you're doing a vlog and you're selling action. So you're giving them a firsthand like documentation plus like firsthand sweat.
Yeah, what I've been doing is I do a full package. So people have a piece of everything, right? The people that get in the package. Now the package sells out very quickly, right? I'm a popular guy and at no markup, people see it and it's a good buy. So I sell out very, very fast. Now, during